In the previous classes, we have discussed the two types of chemical reaction, that is combination reaction and the decomposition reaction. So today we are going to discuss about the rest three types of chemical reaction, that is displacement reaction, double displacement reaction and the redox reaction. So let's starting with the displacement reaction, which is also known as the substitution reaction. So what is displacement reaction? A displacement reaction is the one where the atom or a set of atom is displaced by another atom in a molecule. So take an instant when iron is added to a copper sulfate solution, it displaces the copper metal. So you can see the from this video that how iron is displacing copper. So we can see this reaction elaborately. As you know, it is a reaction in which one element reacts with the compound and replace another element in the compound. So A plus BC forms AB plus C. Here A and C are element, BC and AB are compound. So to carry out this reaction, first take 3 iron nails, rub them with the sandpaper. Then take 2 test tubes, fill them with the copper sulfate solution. Take 10 ml of copper sulfate solution in the test tube. Now put the 2 iron nails in the copper sulfate solution and keep them for 20 minutes. And keep another iron nail outside for the comparison. Now take the 2 iron nails out of the copper sulfate solution and compare the color of the 2 iron nails to the original iron nail, and compare the 2 copper sulfate solution, the color of the 2 copper sulfate solution. You will find the difference in the color of the both. So how it occurs? Let's see. When the iron react with the copper sulfate solution, being iron is the more reactive element than copper, the iron will now displace the copper to form the iron sulfate. That is why we can see that the iron nail become brownish in color and the blue color of the copper sulfate solution fade. The reaction takes place in the following way. Iron added to the copper sulfate, when it displaces the copper, it becomes an iron sulfate. The other example of the displacement reaction are zinc plus copper sulfate gives to zinc sulfate plus copper, and lead to the copper chloride gives the lead chloride and copper. In these two reactions, we have seen that zinc and the lead are more reactive than copper. That's why they have displaced the copper from its compound. So in a displacement reaction, the more reactive element will displace the less reactive element from a compound. So now we will discuss the fourth type of reaction. This is called a double displacement reaction or a metathesis reaction. So what is a double displacement reaction? Before going to the experiment, we should know that what is a double displacement reaction. A double displacement reaction is a type of reaction in which two reactants exchange ion to form two new compounds. So in a double displacement reaction, typically result in the formation of a product that is called a precipitate. Here you can see that when AB react with the CD, it forms the AD and CB. So here the B and D has been interchanged. So to know this reaction, we will see an elaboration process. As we have said that it is a reaction in which there is an exchange of positive ion between two compounds. This reaction generally takes place between two ionic compounds in an aqueous solution. So, when A plus Av react with Cd, it produces Ad and Bc, where Ac are cations and the Bd are known as anions. So to carry out this reaction of formation of the barium sulfate and sodium chloride from barium chloride and sodium sulfate, we need to test tubes, sodium sulfate solutions and barium chloride solutions. So now are the two solutions of sodium sulfate and barium chloride and wait for few minutes. After mixing it, we can see that the white precipitate of BaSO4 is formed. That's how the precipitation has been formed. You can see. Now see a few more things about a double displacement reaction. A double displacement reaction is a type of chemical reaction in which reactant ion exchange places to form new products. Usually, a double displacement reaction results in the precipitate formation. The chemical bond between the reactant may be either covalent or ionic. A double displacement reaction is also called as a double replacement reaction, salt metathesis reaction, or a double composition reaction. So question is how to recognize a double displacement reaction and how it is different from the redisplacement reaction. The easiest way to identify a double displacement reaction is to check to see whether or not the cations exchange anions with each other. Another clue, if the state of the matter are cited, it is to look for the aqueous reactant and the formation of one solid products, since the reaction typically generates the precipitate. Now we will study about the fifth type of reaction. This is called as a oxidation and reduction reaction, or known as the redox reaction. Before doing any activities, so first of all we should know that what is an oxidation reduction or the redox reaction and why the name redox reaction has been given to it. Any chemical reaction in which the oxidation number or the oxidation state of the atom are changed is an oxidation reduction reaction. Such reactions are also known as the redox reaction. This redox word has been formed from the reduction and oxidation, taking the RED from the reduction and OX from the oxidation. So the oxidation involves in the increasing of the oxidation number, while the reduction involves a decrease in the oxidation number. The oxidation number you will study later. Usually the change in the oxidation number is associated with a gain or loss of electron, but there are some redox reactions that do not involve the electron transport. Depending on the chemical reaction, oxidation and reduction may involve any of the following for a given atom, ion or molecule. So oxidation involves the loss of electron or hydrogen or gain of oxygen or increase in the oxidation state, while the reduction involves in the gain of electron or hydrogen or loss of oxygen or decrease in the oxidation state. So the details of the oxidation state will be discussed in the next chapter. So now see the experiments how the oxidation and reduction reaction occur. In this reaction, we'll see the formation of copper oxide from copper. To take this reaction, take china dish, copper powder, burner, tripod and the air gas. Now heat the china dish containing some amount of copper powder and observe what will happen. You can observe the surface of the copper powder becoming coated with the black copper oxide. So here 2Cu plus O2 forms the 2CuO because oxygen is added to the copper to form 2CuO. Now if the hydrogen gas is passed to this heat material, the black coated of sulfur turns brown due to the reverse reaction and the copper can be obtained. So you can see the reaction how has been reversed. So if the substance gain oxygen during a reaction, it is called a oxidized reaction. Or if the substance loses an oxygen during a reaction, it is called redox. In this reaction of copper oxide is losing oxygen and being reduced, and hydrogen is gaining oxygen and being oxidized. One reactant get oxidized while the other reactant get reduced during this reaction. So that is why it is called the redox reaction. Here you can see some more example of the redox reactions. In this above reactions, the carbon is oxidized to CO and ZNO is reduced to Zn. In the reaction of the HCl is oxidized to Cl2, whereas MnO2 is reduced to MnCl2. From this above example, one can say that if a substance gains oxygen or loses a hydrogen during a reaction, it is said to be oxidized. While if a substance loses one oxygen and gain one hydrogen during a reaction, it is said to be reduced. So that is the difference between an oxidation and reduction, and this is what the redox reaction. So have you observed any effect of oxidation in everyday life? Yes, you must have. One of the common example of the oxidation is corrosion. So what is corrosion? Before knowing corrosion, I must tell you that you must observe that the iron articles are shiny when they are new, but it gets coated with a reddish brown powder when they left for some time. This process is commonly called as the rusting of iron. This rusting of iron one of the most common example of the corrosion. The corrosion can also occur in copper and silver. So when a metal is attacked by substances around it such as moisture, acids, it is said to be corroded, and this process is known as a corrosion. So corrosion is a irreversible process. Okay, so a damage or destruction, we can say, of material due to the chemical or electrochemical reaction. So it is an irreversible damage which cannot be reversible. Corrosion causes damage to the car bodies, bridges, iron railing, sieves, and to all the object that is made up of metals, especially those of iron. Corrosion of iron is a very serious problem in our day-to-day. Every year an enormous amount of money is being spent to replace the damaged iron. So you will learn more about corrosion in the next chapter. So now question is, do all the metal corrode? Yeah, all the metal can corrode. Some like pure iron, corrode quickly, while the stainless steel takes some time for corrosion. Although there is a small group of metal called the noble metal are much less reactive than other. As a result, they corrode rarely. They are in fact the only metal that can be found in the nature in their pure form. These noble metals are surprisingly, uh, in fact not surprisingly, are often very valuable. They include rhodium, palladium, silver, platinum and gold. So that concludes the about the types of chemical reaction. Hope you understand the types of chemical reaction and how they have been impacted into our day-to-day life. So thank you a lot.